I have been collaborating with Ray Kurzweil, making projections. In fact, you can download the chronology of life on Earth from the very beginning into the year 2099, the year 2099. Many of the numbers I have used Ray Kurzweil's numbers himself, that he makes himself, and you can see his forecast, his predictions. I had the privilege to revise and correct him twice for his predictions of 2009. And let me tell you, because this is truly beautiful, he has been making predictions for 40 years, even 50 years, half a century, and he is over 80% to 90% correct. No one in the world can say that. Not even Nostradamus, no one, especially based on science and technology. And he's an engineer from my alma mater, from MIT. And in his latest prediction for 2009, he made 2 mistakes. And let me tell you, because it's really very interesting. He said that by 2009, the economy of the world would be better. But the world was going through the financial crisis of 2008 and 2009. So he actually said he had been wrong. And then I had to prove him that he was very right. The world was much better in 2009, even in the middle of the financial crisis. So, and the other thing, he said also in 1998 that there would be a company that would be worth $1 trillion west of the Mississippi, or east of the Mississippi, whatever. No, I think it's because he was thinking in 1998, he was thinking about Microsoft, that Microsoft would reach $1 trillion. And he said, I have been wrong. It did not happen. Microsoft or no other company reached $1 trillion. And he said, Ray, yes, there is one company that went over $1 trillion, but it's not in your sector. That is why you don't know. And it was the Chinese petroleum company that in 2007 went over $1 trillion. Then it went back down again because of the crisis and so on and so forth. But I had to correct him. And I am very proud to have corrected Ray because he was even righter than he thought he was right. Isn't that beautiful? Also, he predicted that we would pass, that a computer would win in chess, in the chess game, a human in 1997. And he was wrong again, because it happened in 1997. Isn't this exciting? He was wrong because he was too late. So his extrapolations are actually very right, and actually are happening before he expected. I had the privilege that he invited me and presented me at Google, at the headquarters in Mountain View, to talk about technology. We don't have time for any of that, but I made my predictions with him there. And most of the people here and who are watching us know about what he talks about, the singularity. Right now, talking about books, I have to tell you something. Well, first, because we have here the publisher of his books in German and in Spanish. For those of you who understand German, this is the singularity is near, even though it doesn't look very similar. This is Menschheit. Zwei Danke schön. Okay, so this is the singularity is near in German, and then Carlos from Spain translated it in Berlin. So thank you, Carlos. Then he came with his latest book, which is How to Create a Mind. I am so privileged that I wrote the introduction in German, even though my German is awful, and correct me, Das Geheimnis des menschlichen Denkens. I did not write the translation of my introduction, which is originally in the Spanish version, Cómo crear una mente. I highly recommend that you read my introduction because it is only 4 pages instead of 400 pages. So you can get the summary. You can get the summary. There is a controversy, and this is what I have to tell you. Right now, Ray Kurzweil is changing the name of his coming book. And that is why you will have better news soon. Because the singularity is nearer doesn't sound too convincing. especially for people who are new to this. They don't understand why is it nearer, why was it not near before, or what is this of the singularity. So the name will probably be the age of the singularity, the age of the singularity. I have gone through this myself with my book, with my fantastic co-author, David Good. Actually, let me tell you, in Spanish, all of you can understand, by the way, there are books, and we are happy to say we are donating all the royalties, all the income, all the dividends to scientific research with the SENS Foundation in California and with another foundation in Spain that you can see behind. It's called Apadrina la Ciencia. So you buy the book, you contribute. In Spanish, no problem. In Portuguese, no problem. And we have the translators here. I am so happy that my Brazilian friends, Nina and Nicolas, came all the way from Brazil to be with us, and they translated our book. And then I have to tell you, because this is really important, for those of you who speak Catalan, it's the same as in French, just the pronunciation different. In Catalan, it's more like la mort de la mort. In French, it sounds more musical, la mort de la mort. David and I, we have been sued in France because of our book. And I am so happy to tell you that I am proud that I am being sued by another person, a medical doctor who wrote a book which is not as good as ours, and which is old. And he says he owns the title, La Mort de la Mort. But this suit is only in France. So our book is called La Mort de la Mort in Switzerland, in Belgium, in Luxembourg, and in Canada. So I think it will stay as La Mort de la Mort. But for those who live in France, now the book is called La Fin de la Mort, which is not bad, but it's not the same. I know about books, name changes, because for those of you who read Russian or Ukrainian or Belarusian, you might understand what it says here, because they changed the name. In Russian, where they publish different editions, in Russian it is called Death Must Die, which I also like. But anyway, they had 2 covers for 2 months. And I will not tell you which one you won, because after 2 months they decided the one that was best selling, and you can ask David, he knows the answer. And in Chinese, after 5 covers, finally, after 5 covers, oh, they also changed the name. That is why I'm telling you about names. In Chinese, it's not called The Death of Death or Death Must Die. It is called Eternal Life. Eternal Life. And this is the final cover of Eternal Life. Published by the Chinese government, by the People's Publishing House, founded by Mao Zedong in Beijing. And we are working on future editions coming up soon in Turkish and Arabic. We are very proud that in Islamic countries, they will be learning about the death of death, even if it has a different name. We don't know the name in Arabic or in Turkish yet. So all of this, again, is to tell you that Ray is probably changing the title of his greatest, best seller ever, and you will have the news as soon as he is available to do that. In the meantime, also, as you know, Aubrey de Grey, that was here with us, translated by our Spanish-German friend Carlos, also we're thinking he should change the name to Undoing Aging, which is the conference he created in Berlin. And I welcome you all to come with us next, I think it's in March or May, to Berlin, to Undoing Aging, because Aubrey says that should be the name, Undoing Aging. I am also very proud to have known Aubrey for over 20 years. And I feel sorry for him because he was attacked by my alma mater, by MIT. They called him charlatan in 2005. And he was the laughable cover of the Technology Review. Horrible. Well, 14 years later, he was re-vindicated by MIT Technology Review, saying that indeed old age is over if you want it, if you want it. So I think old age is over because, as German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer said, truth passes through 3 stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. And third, it is accepted as being self-evident. I want to be with all of you in 2045. When we look back to this day, today, here, in the sacrosanctum of medicine of Spain, and we let people die today. Isn't this barbaric? Isn't this barbarian? Isn't this horrible? In 2045, we will remember this day. And as Ray Kurzweil talks about in his other fantastic, all his books are fantastic, but Fantastic Voyage is really fantastic because he says, live enough to live forever. And he talks about the 3 bridges to immortality. The first bridge, just ending the 2010s, which is do everything your mother told you. Eat well, sleep well. Not in Madrid now, don't sleep well. Come to party, come to the cocktails, celebrate with us, but relax, meditate, don't drink too much, don't smoke, etc., etc., etc. That is bridge 1, that is ending now. We are moving into bridge 2, into the 2020s. In this bridge 2, we have the first biotechnology treatments. Even simple things like metformin that we know are important, rapamycin and other rapalogs coming up soon, and senolytics, and many, many things are coming into this bridge 2 that will allow us to reach bridge 3, which is nanotechnology and nanobots to clean our body. And that will take us into the last decade, to the 2040s, with artificial intelligence. That will be this final bridge into indefinite life extension. Once again, this is a fantastic ecosystem. This will be the biggest industry in the planet in 20 years. I come from the energy sector. When I studied at MIT, I began working on energy right after. At the time, it was the biggest industry in the planet. You remember companies like Shell, BP, Exxon, etc., etc. It was the biggest sector in the planet until about the year 2000. Then IT companies rose. And today, the largest companies in the planet are Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Google, and the Chinese equivalent, Baidu, Tencent. These are the biggest companies, and they are realizing that in 20 years, biotech will be the biggest industry in the planet, and that is why they are moving into biotech. That is why Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, said, Apple will be remembered, but what they will do in medicine, but what they will do. So isn't this beautiful? We have all these tech billionaires realizing that we are entering this new area of indefinite lifespans. And all of them are making incredible announcements, like, you know, Jeff Bezos behind Altos, which is a Spanish word, by the way, Altos, from Los Altos, California, Silicon Valley. And that article was written by a Spanish journalist, a friend of mine, Antonio Regalado. And not only is he Spanish, he talks about the 10 scientists that Jeff Bezos and Yuri Milner and other people are hiring, and 2 of them are Spanish. I am so proud. 2 of those scientists are Spanish. So, and then other people like David Sinclair, who is saying that we have to declare aging as a disease. So I coincide with him. I think we have to declare aging as a disease, even though Aubrey de Grey does not think so. He says we have to talk about aging as a medical condition, treatable, of course. Or my co-author, David, he's not fully in agreement with Aubrey or with me, but it doesn't matter. We have to do something. That is why we have this open letter about aging. Because I like Russian applications like FaceApp, but I don't want that to change my face in that way. I want to do it biologically. I really think this is possible. And this has been the biggest dream of humanity ever, ever. The first book ever written, the Epic of Gilgamesh, is about immortality. Or the pharaohs, what they were looking for, the Book of the Dead. Or the first emperor who unified China, Qin Shi Huang, and the terracotta warriors. Or the Spanish, Juan Ponce de León, looking for the fountain of youth in the Americas. Or the Bible itself. Corinthians 1, 15, 26. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. Why here? Why now? We are going through COVID. You see who are the people who die from COVID? People who are elderly. And COVID is a small pandemic. COVID is much smaller than the Spanish flu, which was not Spanish, by the way. It was American. But it got the name Spanish flu. And it killed maybe 50 million people. Some people say even 100 million people in a small population in the planet at the time. So my point is, if COVID has paralyzed the planet and is nothing compared to other pandemics or to aging itself, and it has received investments of trillions of dollars by governments, billions of dollars by companies, why we don't do this with the mother of all diseases, which is aging? This is me being vaccinated right here in the College of Physicians of Madrid. I am very proud to have been vaccinated here with a new technology, messenger RNA from the BioNTech company that is working with Pfizer. The best vaccine that will cure messenger RNA vaccines. This is in my forecast. You can see it. It is in our book. They will cure cancer, malaria, HIV in the next 5 to 10 years. Isn't this beautiful? Isn't this the best time to be alive, to be excited? Because we have to attack aging. Aging is the mother of all diseases. If we cure all cancer, we might get 3 extra years of life. If we cure all heart disease, we might get 4 more years of extra life. If we cure them both, cancer and heart disease, we might get 7 years. But if we slow aging, if we cure aging, if we reverse aging, we will gain decades of healthy lifespan. So we have to move from this sick care into health care, because aging is the center, is the problem. And just to finish now, even Robert Sofia has read my book. She said that to me last time she came to Madrid in May. She said she enjoyed my book. I'm very proud. If you want, if you're interested, I'll send you the clip. Just final comments. Ray Kurzweil says 2045. Why so? And remember, the book coming out in the next few months will probably be changed the name as the Age of the Singularity. All of you here, for your patience, will receive the first chapter free of the book as of next week. So this is the good news. You will have the first chapter. The better news is that you will have the first presentation he makes. We will send them to you because he cannot be here with us, even though we plan to bring him to Spain to present his book in Madrid. But he's not traveling now, and he's finishing with the publishing agreements. But you will get the premiere of having the first chapter of the book, and also have the first presentation he does. We have your emails. Once he releases his first presentation, you will have it as a courtesy of Ray Kurzweil and Transvision. Just to put clear, which are the dates that we talked about? We have been talking about that since Singularity University, but these are the 2 dates that you need to remember. NBIC, Nano-Bio-Info-Cogno, Technological Convergence towards something, the singularity, human enhancement, whatever. We have 2 dates, 2029 and 2045. On the top, you can see the hardware, which is nano, that studies atoms, molecules, etc., and bio, that studies cells. On the bottom, you have the software of life, the software, which is info and cogno, bits and bytes and neurons. And remember, at 11, we take the picture with the discovery of the neural synapses connections, Ramon y Cajal here in this sacrosanctum place of medicine. Anyway, what will happen on the hardware side? In 2029, on the hardware side, we will reach longevity escape velocity. On the biological side, that means that if we make it to 29 or to 2030, for every year we keep on living, we will gain 1 extra year because of longevity, lifespan increasing. And you can ask my friend, Dr. Ramon here, to tell you the tricks. And then by 2045, we expect to have treatments for rejuvenation. treatment for rejuvenation. Also, people need to understand that this will be eventually free, eventually very quickly, just like the vaccines of COVID. Can you imagine if you had to pay for COVID vaccines? There would have been a revolution. The same will happen with anti-aging treatments. Anyway, that is on the hardware, biological side. On the software side, on the computational side, two things will happen. Again, these are Ray Kurzweil numbers. They will probably happen earlier. Ray has been talking. He made the first long-term bet in 2001 with the inventor of Lotus. If you remember Lotus, 1, 2, 3, Mitch Kapoor bet against Ray Kurzweil that we will not pass the Alan Turing test. And Ray said, yes, we will, in 2029 or earlier. Actually, we think we will pass the Alan Turing test before 2029. So keep on looking at that scene. And what will happen by 2045? Well, we will reach the singularity, which is increasing our intelligence, combining human intelligence with artificial intelligence. I don't want to bother with any more of this. I just want to show 3 quick videos made by another good friend of ours, Charlie Cam, who couldn't come because he had an eye desprendimiento de retina. I don't know how to say it. You know, the retina just came out. Horrible. So let's see the first video of Charlie Cam, who is a friend of Ray and myself, and organized Transvision 2007 in Chicago. Please, the first video. This is for David and myself.
Feliz no muerte. Feliz no muerte. Feliz no muerte. La muerte de la muerte que es grande. Feliz no muerte. Feliz no muerte. Feliz no muerte. La muerte de la muerte que es grande. I wanna wish us a very long life. We're gonna make sure that we all don't die. We're gonna merge with the latest AI with the front door of our mind. I wanna wish us a very long life. We're gonna make sure that we all don't die. We're gonna merge with the latest AI with the front door of our mind.
Okay. Thank you to Charlie for doing that beautiful video. If we can show another one because we don't have time, or if we don't have time, we move into Ben Gortzel. Okay, so let's go quickly to see another video. I am the very model of a singularitarian. You will laugh.
I am the very model of a singularitarian. I'm combination, transhuman, and modalistic tropian. Aggressively, I'm changing all my body's biochemistry because my body's heritage is obsolete genetically. Replacing all the cells these plants here just temporarily. The pattern of my brain embodies weather's continuity. I'll try to improve these patterns with optimal biology. But how will I do that? I need to be smarter. Ah, yes. I'll expand my mental faculties by merging with technology.
Expand his mental faculties by merging with technology. Expand his mental faculties by merging with technology. Expand his mental faculties by merging with technology.
And with a new technology, renewable clean energy, remove our pathogens and overcome hunger and poverty. In short, I am a transhuman, a modalistic tropian. I am the very model of a singularitarian.
In short, he is a transhuman, a modalistic tropian. He is the very model of a singularitarian.
Knowledge in all forms, music, art, science, and technology. Our brains and bodies all precious and any loss a tragedy. Important recognitions and insights are what we should retain while we destroy all of the useless information that remains. And when a person dies, we lose a profound pattern tragically. And the part of ourselves that interacted with them literally. Religious folks may rationalize that death is really something good. Something good? Something good? Huh? I think they changed our minds of singularity were understood.
I think they changed our minds of singularity were understood. I think they changed our minds of singularity were understood. I think they changed our minds of singularity were understood.
I create and appreciate all of the knowledge that I know to greater order, even though complexity I know may grow. In short, I am a transhuman, modalistic stropian. I am the very model of a singularitarian.
In short, he is a transhuman, modalistic stropian. He is the very model of a singularitarian.
The purpose of the universe is that of all our human lives. Since no aliens have come forth this much, we can now rationalize. We'll spread our thoughts with nanobots that know how to self-replicate. Through solar system, Milky Way, or anywhere we designate. Ideas are our products that will solve the problems of our fate. And new ideas for the problems we can't yet articulate. Let's leverage all our knowledge from the returns that accelerate. Returns that accelerate? Sounds familiar. Yes, the law of accelerating returns by Ray Kurzweil. Of course, of course. So the outcome of the universe is something we can contemplate.
The outcome of the universe is something we can contemplate. The outcome of the universe is something we can contemplate. The outcome of the universe is something we can contemplate.
The singularity is near, but I won't be indifferent. In case something should go awry, I'll do my best to prevent. Because I am a transhuman and modalistic stropian. I am the very model of a singularitarian.
Because he is a transhuman and modalistic stropian. He is the very model of a singularitarian.
Yes! Singularity! Woo-hoo! Singularity is here! Singularity is near! Singularity!
We don't have time for the other video. We will show it to you later if you are interested. I hope you enjoyed the video of Charlie Cam. He's also a close friend of Ray and myself. He organized the Transvision Conference 2007 in Chicago. He also had James T. Kirk, the famous William Shatner, that will be flying now. You probably know he will be going on Blue Origin next flight into space, William Shatner. He was with us in Chicago in 2007.